And everybody that's here can say hi to YouTube and stuff. For everybody that hasn't been able to get into the game yet, we'll go over the patch notes real quick. Okay, so these changes are already live. They were done like overnight while we were all asleep. Well, at least if you were living in the time zone that I'm in, living and you were asleep. Fixed a bunch of issues, performance degradation, sound play when raft spawns in Ice Cavern. Cleric's Locust Swarm couldn't damage monsters. I don't know who the hell's using Locust Swarm right now, but hey. Hitboxes left by corpses of summoned monsters could block projectiles. We saw that happen in a bunch. This was a real big deal with the Treant especially. Fixed an issue where a second attack from a swapped weapon could be activated after throwing a torch. So the way that worked was you would hold right click like you were getting ready to huck the torch at somebody, and then you would hold left click and then let go of right click so that the torch got thrown, and then switch to your primary weapon. And then when you went to click a second time, you would start off with the second swing and not the first one. And it was like this little piece of like buggy tech that was happening that they finally ended up fixing. It's been around for ever. Fixed an issue where the Froststone Torch's glow effect was stronger than intended. Pay to win torch, boys. Pay to win torch. Fixed an issue where Unique Grade Hatchet had incorrect movement speed. Druids were incorrectly able to equip the Ruby Silver Cuirass. So this was like the new hotness, was Druid was able to wear the Ruby Silver Cuirass, and there were a lot of people making like PDR Druids that were wrecking people in cat form. I'm glad that they finally fixed that shit. Druids were incorrectly able to use crafted short swords. The silver short sword. Druids were unable to use the crafted silver daggers. Fixed an issue where druids were unable to use Lightbringer, so all of that is fixed. Fixed an issue where flickering occurred in the lobby when a character's equipment and ready status was updated. All right, and then we have balance changes. Cleric's Faithfulness now has a 3-second cooldown after activation. So if you hit somebody, and the slow that happens from Faithfulness now has a 3-second cooldown in between, which is, I think, a very, very good change for this whole idea of like PDR rushdown cleric. It's good, but it still doesn't really eliminate them being able to just rush people down regardless when they're getting buffed by a bard. I don't know if that's enough. Rogues might be able to get away now, though. Cleric Smite attribute bonus ratio changed from 100 to 75%. So again, I don't know if this is really the issue. It's more about like move speed and attack speed from the bard in the comp, but whatever. And then we have Druid nerfs, which I thought was interesting too. Druid attacks that are triggered beforehand will no longer register a hit after Dreamwalk is triggered. So if you're in the middle of an attack animation and you end up taking damage and you go and you turn into mist or whatever, you get phantomized in the Dreamwalk state or whatever, the swing from that hit isn't going to register on the person that they're swinging on anymore, which I think is a good change. I think that was necessary, because it was like the druid just would get a free hit and then get to walk away. When a druid attacks in rat form, the hit slow duration has been changed to 0.1 seconds, and the movement speed reduction has been changed from -20% to -1% for the target. And they did this kind of across the board. Druid attacks in Panther, the slow duration has changed from a second to 0.25. So when you hit somebody, they get slowed, right? They're changing this from a 1 second duration slow to a 0.25 second duration slow, basically because the Panther can move at like max speed all the time. When you're beating on people, it's giving them the opportunity to be able to maybe like kite the Panther a little bit. Movement speed reduction has been changed from -20 to -3% for the target. I don't know if this is really going to do much for the whole like Panther form thing, and I don't know if this really changes a damn thing. When Druid attacks in chicken form, same thing, 0.25. And then a -3% duration, or a -3% slow. Druid's movement speed reduction when attacking in Panther form has been changed from -20 to -25%. So you move slightly a bit slower when attacking in Panther form. But the attack is like, you know, it takes like a 1/10 of a second to attack in Panther form. So I don't know what's up with that. Druid Panther form's neck bite attribute bonus ratio has been changed from 150 to 125%. So this, again, like, Druid's damage output in Panther form is great if you're against like a cloth wearer. It's absolute dog shit if you're playing against somebody that's got armor rating. It doesn't do nearly enough damage. You have to start stacking like some pretty good armor pen in order to really make it work, because it just scales off of agility. And you then you're trying to do agility stacking with health. You don't really ever end up getting to the point where you can really tank any damage, and the cat dies in like 2 or 3 hits. And the neck bite has such a short range that it's really difficult to really land hits on target unless you're like really good at movement and positioning. I think neck bite, if they're gonna do this, I think they need to adjust neck bite's attack range and give it like another like few inches something, so that it doesn't feel like you have to be inside somebody's character model if you're gonna like actually register damage on something other than their legs. It's not an easy skill to land on people during fights with how like their attack animations work and where you're able to actually like get to interacting with their character model. I think this attack animation and like range still needs some work. Otherwise, Panther, I don't see any point in late game running Panther at all. I guess I'll put it that way. It feels like you just go bear form, especially with this change. Panther form's neck bite silence duration changed from 0.5 to 0.1 seconds. So I don't know how this is really doing much of anything for anybody, unless like maybe you have like an instant cast wizard or something that could get a fireball off and like, you know, between attacks or something, or a zap or whatever. I feel like you're just going to be refreshing this over the 3-second duration from the rush. But Stinky Stick's Poison Cloud damage changed from 6 to 15. Stinky Stick's Poison Cloud lasts for 12 seconds and can generate up to 3 clouds. Okay. Stinky Stick's Poison Cloud creation chance increased from 15 to 25%, and the Poison Cloud no longer scales. So it's a 15 damage cloud no matter what, up to 3 at a time, and it's a 25% chance to proc. So that's actually an interesting change. Like, I don't know if that's going to make people want to run it for anything other than a meme, but kind of silly. Changed so that it takes less time to interact with the corpse of an enemy player that's already been previously interacted with. So that's good. I like that change. I think that change is good. Item holders now collide more accurately. The statue oppressing the Frost Wyvern has been changed so that it can be removed through interaction. So you can walk up and interact with the statues to turn them off now to start the fight, which means that anybody can attempt it, solo, duo, trio. So you can do one of these. Turns the beam off, and just go around and do it to all 4 of them. Pretty cool. I like that they like individualize the statues. It's kind of sweet looking. They crumble, right? There you go. A good change. I like it. Although there was an announcement that Grayson made. It said, yeah, right here. Hello, everyone. With the changes made to Frost Wyvern activation today, pre-teaming is no longer allowed. Pre-teaming for Frost Wyvern can now result in a ban. Please refrain from doing so. Thank you. So this is like the death of community days for everyone, unfortunately. No more community Wyvern runs. Sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, a simple version of the Questlog can be checked in-game has been added. In the upper left-hand corner now, it shows that you can do like a tab thing to open up your inventory, or you can hit L to open up your Questlog. This doesn't update in real time, okay? It just tells you what you need. If you, like, for instance, if you killed Frost Wyvern, it's not going to register the Frost Wyvern kill once it happens. It's only showing you, like, where you were at the beginning. Like, it's not a real-time update at the moment. But it's still useful, right? Like, it still works. Gear score is now displayed in the lobby when party members and you are in ready status. This will be updated in the future so it's reflected in real time when an item is equipped. You can see right here it says that I have 11 gear score chilling in the lobby. Community and support link menu has been added to game options. Through this menu, you can submit an inquiry ticket in real time during the game without logging into the official website. So you hit escape, you can click on support, all right? Support FAQ, submit ticket, report a bug. So there's a bug report thing, and then it pulls up the website for a bug report. So that way it kind of streamlines the process. So now anybody that needs to do a bug report or wants to, report somebody for cheating or whatever, aside from the in-game cheating menu, which is still a thing, you can do that, all right? And there's also a community tab. So now you can click on this for the official Discord. You can request a night, which again, will open up Discord and launch the Hall of Knights so that you can, ask for somebody to show you around. Works pretty well. I like it. And then a product has been added to the shop that allows you to change your account name for 3 redstone shards. That was like the last thing. So you can modify your name if you want to pay for it. Let's see, there wasn't anything else, I don't think. That was everything. All right. So takeaways. I think it's a big dub that you'll be able to fight Frost Wyvern regardless of party size now. I think that's huge. I think it's kind of crappy that, it removes the ability to be able to have like a community day for everybody, because I thought those were kind of cool. They were pretty fun. Not that you couldn't do it, but you just wouldn't be able to talk about how you were doing it. It'd be like Fight Club, you know what I mean? I like the changes to the Druid in terms of like not being able to wear like all the crazy armor and stuff, because I think that was a little bit overpowered. But I don't see the sense in modifying the damage that Druid's doing, and I don't think these cleric nerfs really adjusted or addressed the main issue of like the buff ball comp that they have, because it's more based around like how much move and attack speed that they have from the bard that's buffing them, because it basically hinges on the bard. Not seeing like an adjustment to that is I think not really changing the comp at all. I think that this still isn't going to be enough, and I think you're still going to see like the cleric rushdown stuff, just because they might not be as sticky, they might not be able to catch people as easily, but they're still going to have the movement speed, they're still going to have the attack speed, and they still have all of the armor value and damage mitigation. You still can't fight them heads up. You still can't fight them heads up. You'll just lose. I think honestly, I think the answer, which might be overly simplistic, but I think the answer is buff overwriting. I think that's what it comes down to. Like, You get one slotted buff for stat augmentations. You get one slotted buff for like movement speed increases. You get one slotted buff for an attack speed increase, and that's it. Which with a bard right now is still crazy strong. And it just adds to this idea of like movement speed cap is meta no matter what you do, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean overall I think the patch is good. It's moving in the right direction. I disagree with the Panther damage if they're not going to increase the distance that the Panther has to be able to attack from. And I mean, and I'm talking like, you know, like this much more range. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. It's difficult to be able to like hit people's chest and head from such a low angle without getting like absolutely clapped in like 2 hits. Especially now that you can't wear the ruby silver queers, which I thought was kind of ridiculous to begin with, but even still. It just means that the Panther has to stay in that attack range even longer in order to be able to finish off their target. And when you are up against people that have a lot of damage mitigation, you know, if they're wearing a lot of plate and stuff, and you haven't been stacking armor pen, you're just going to get melted, unfortunately. I still say like end game it's bear. You go strength build with a spear and you turn into a bear if you need to. You go panther form and rush them for the silence if it's a caster, and the rest of the time you're just rocking bear form. I think that's the only real way to play a druid at the moment in terms of like, you know, trying to body people, or you're going like pure support caster or something and trying to scale off the healing with the aura. That's kind of it. All right, well, I suppose we'll go pal around in the dungeon for a bit and say hi to some folks. You know?